YouTube, this is Dawn from Dare to Dream Romance with installment 21 through 30 of the Wild Card 2 cartridge. So if you watched the other two previous videos, I did one from 1 to 10 and then 11 through 20. So now I'm going to do 21 through 30. So my goal is to make all 50 other cards, and it's just simple versions because I'm using scrap paper, just to give you some idea of what they look like. And like I said in the other previous videos, they're all cut at 4.5. The inside sentiment is at 1 inch, and then the outside of the envelope is typically at 1 1/4, 1.5. So that'll just give you some idea as to how big it cuts out. So for card number 21 on the Wild Card 2 series, this says supersized thanks. So hopefully, I don't know, glare, it's a little off. Anyway, so for that one, this is the envelope, and I just put the word thanks on it. And again, that's 1 1/4. And you see it's a small little card, and it reminds you of McDonald's, a McDonald's meal. And it just said again, it's supersized thanks on the inside, and that's layered. What you could do on this one is bling it out some. You can actually put a sticker here representing one of your favorite restaurants or fast food chains or whatever. You could probably glossy accent the straw or bedazzle it, or use some different type of paper here. Maybe I'm trying to say, the run it through the Boston folder, or maybe even use some printed paper just to make the cup a little bit more interesting, or the same thing for the straw. But anyway, that's it. The fries in a cup, supersized, and that's 4.5. That is card number, actually, I'm gonna leave it out, 21. This is card number 22, and this says thanks or thanks for lunch. And this is just basically kind of looks like a sushi meal, if you can kind of see that. So on the outside, it says, again, thanks for lunch. Excuse me. This part was just a negative of that, which comes with the envelope. So instead of throwing it away, I just figured I threw the chopsticks on the front of it just to add something to it. This could have been cute in some pattern paper, or maybe even if it was glossy accent or blinged out, or put some little wood grain faux stitching on it. Not faux stitching, excuse me, doodling on it to make it look like wood grain. That would be really cute. Again, I just traced around it with an ink pen, and this is the way the envelope cuts out. Excuse me, I have a really bad cold. This is, I use pattern paper for the background, and this is like a little, looks like a little sushi roll right there, like a California roll and some sushi. So I just used kind of the colors that they had on the envelope. But you could blink that out as well. And again, it says thanks a bunch, and that's at 1 inch. You see how large that one is, and that's 1 1/4 inches. So you can see the fonts, the sentiments are different. They look different per sentiment, even though they're cut at the same size. And so this is a 4.5 card, and this is a 4.5 card. So this is card number 22. Thanks so much. So card number in the envelope, card number 23. It's You Made My Day, and that is just a sandwich, a PBJ, or it could be ham and cheese, whatever you want. So you can make the color of the sandwiches. So on the envelope, I just put those sentiments, You Made My Day, and that's layered. Plain, simple envelope. Nothing fancy about this envelope. And this is the sandwich. I used wet glue, which made it a little warped. Should have just used probably some, excuse me, some craft, a glue stick, excuse me. I ran out of my glue stick and I used glue, so it made it just a little, warpy. But anyway, so you just layer it with the different layers to show that you have sandwich meat, or, PBJ, whatever you want it to look like, those colors. You could probably even glossy accent around it just to make it a little different, or bling it out or something. And that says You Made My Day, just like the same sentiment, and that's at 1 inch, and then the outside is 1 1/4 inches. So that is card number 23. Now, card number 24 is Owl, and you've probably seen quite a few of those. And what happened initially is what got me started with this cartridge was I was trying to make all the projects with the beginning of the book, the cartridges, so you can kind of know that cartridge and know the cuts. I saw some people recommend that. So this was actually the first card that I made, and I will show you that one. So, and I actually made 2 of these cards simultaneously because I had made one to share and one to keep. But anyway, so this one I have 2 cards of that one, and it says Your Hoot. So this is one version of it, and this is a little bit of ribbon, and again, scrap paper is what I used, and that says it says Hoot, excuse me, and this is a scalloped envelope in the back, and this is the owl. And on this one, I put a little bread, and I I just put dots, if you can see that. I don't know, with this lighting, I apologize. But anyway, I just put little dots around, you know, like your faux stitching, but just little dots around everything. I attempted to, I don't have a cutter book, so I have some embossing folders, and I tried to use a rolling pin. It didn't come out too well. You could only see it on little spots, so the whole thing is not embossed as much as I would have liked it. But that would be a neat way to do it, is emboss that, or even use plaid paper there. And then it says your hoot on the inside, and again, I just, you know, stitched around it with some little dots just to give some dimension. I could have used my Sew Easy also as well. That would have been another way to give it some dimension to it as well. So that is card number 24, but I did 2 of those. So this is the other version of the same card, because again, like I said, I was making one when I first started out and then want to share. This one I actually did use my Sew Easy. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not. But anyway, I did it around some parts of it. That was the first time I ever tried it. And then the rest of it I just kind of stitched around it myself because I didn't know what I was doing. And that's that on the inside. So 2 versions of card number 25, which I think is such a cute card. But again, you know, any card that you make, you can bling it out, make it so different. You know, what I probably would do if I make this card again is I would actually attach this to a bigger card, like a 5x7, and cut out the second piece on the back and attach the front part to a card, and then bling it out. You know, because that's just personally how I would probably do it. But I wanted to show you that, how it looks that way. Excuse me. So card number 25, it says, you are my cup of tea. Again, 4.5, you're my cup of tea. And I just layered it with some pattern paper. And here it comes out with a little cutout, so it looks like steam. You could even actually put some other pattern paper under here before you lay that piece down. So to give that some more dimension, you can put glossy accents in there or some stickles. And the same thing with this one. I used different pieces of paper. What I didn't do was this yellow piece, whatever color it is, beige, should actually have been glued to this piece right here. So instead of seeing the sentiment, because you can see the sentiment through there. And if it had been glued to this piece, then I would have traced the steam out, and you know, that piece would have looked like the steam. But since, or I could have moved the sentiment down further, then that way you wouldn't see it through the steam. But either way, it's still a cute card. And you can make that a little bit bigger because this again is 4.5. So that is card number 25. You are my cup of tea. And then card number 26, it says, you are my sunshine. So again with this one, 4.5. This is the reverse, the negative that cuts out with this piece right here. Instead of throwing it away, I just adhered it to the front and traced it with a bronze colored pen. And the same thing with that one. It says, you are my sunshine. And that's layered with 3 different colors, the base, then the gold, and then the red. And that's, like I said, was a negative of that. So on the inside, here's the little card. And I use pattern paper, so they're using solid rainbow colors for that one. And I traced around it. And then again, the same sentiment, you are my sunshine. So that one is that card, number 26. So let's go on to number 27. Number 27 says, you're a fox. What does the fox say? No, don't let me get to singing. Ha, 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 ha. Anyway, it says, you're a fox. And this heart is actually the negative of this. So on all of these, I use the negative and just incorporate it. So instead of letting it go 2 ways, just take the negative and put it on the front, just adds extra dimension, and just says, you're a fox. And I use pattern paper there. So instead of using just solid paper, I decided to use a pattern paper. Just to give the fox a little bit different dimension. You could use Google eyes, you could stickle or glossy accent the tail or the ears. Even thought about putting a little bow on the ear. And on this one, because I use pattern paper with dots for his body, you could actually glossy accent some of those dots. And I decided, instead of going with a traditional red heart, you know, just use the pattern paper, something a little bit different with that. But anyway, so that is the fox card, and it opens upward. And it says, you are a fox. And I use the same color pattern paper as his body. So, or her body. And that is card number 27. So card number 28 says, "You're the bomb. You're the bomb." And this is the envelope. And I stuck it in here because it sits like that. You know, it doesn't, and it's this low. So I guess the only way to keep it down would be to stick it in that way. So anyway, I used some pattern paper on that. And this is the little clock, and I decided to use some pattern paper instead of solid paper, just give a little bit different dimensions and different colors there. You can glossy accent the hands, glossy accent different pieces. You can use some metal paper here, or faux metal, just to make it look more, the bells to look more authentic or whatever. So just to try some different things there. Stickle, glossy accents. You can even put a brad, because I was thinking about putting a brad right here through the center to bling that out. That would be cute as well. To give it a little bit of texture as well too. And then on the inside again, it just says, "You're the bomb." And this card too would be one of those cards that I would actually cut out and glue just this piece to the front of a base card instead of keeping it this way. I would probably glue it to the front of a card, my personal preference. And then just maybe like a 5x7 card and use a regular envelope. But anyway, so that's some of the things that you can do, is just to make some of these pieces with different paper, or actually use a Boston folder. So that is card number 28. Card number 29 is, it says, "Shoot your special." So that's a gun. And this is the envelope. And this piece cuts out with the envelope, but it cuts at an angle, so I guess it's supposed to be that way. And I just kept the star again. I used the reverse of it down here, and it just says, "Shoot your special." And that's the way it looks on the back. So that's the card. And again, the same sentiment. I just put on the front, so the inside it says, "Shoot your special." Traced around everything. Just use some pattern paper. Actually, this would have been nice. It's the same pattern paper that I used for the fox. To glossy accent the dots there would have been kind of cute. If you had had some silver or some metal looking paper, it would have been great for the barrel of the gun. And again, the inside is left blank. So that's that one. Or you could do something to bedazzle the star as well. And then number 30, the last one in the series, says, "You turn me on." And that's a remote control. So it says, "You turn me on," and that's layered, and that's just a simple card. Simple envelope. And those dots, I'll show you where those dots came from. Again, I just kept the scraps. But this is a little, it cuts out pretty small, but that's the remote control. And I use pattern paper, so they're using the solid color just to give it a little bit of dimension. You could glossy accent these pieces, these elements right here, or use a brad or something. Same thing with these circles. But those circles right there, that's just those dots that came off just to make those dots right there. So instead of just throwing it away, I just added it to the outside of the envelope just to give it some dimension. And then, of course, when you open it up, it says, "You turn me on." So that is card number 30. And again, this is 4.5. They're all at 4.5. You can see how each one cuts out a little bit different as far as the proportions. So the 4.5 looks a little different per card. So again, that is card number 30 and the envelope. Card number 29 and the envelope. 28. Yeah, and the envelope. 27. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened to my light. 26. 25. 24. And of course, remember I had 2 of those. 24. 23. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice again. 22. And card number 21. So again, this is the third in the series of the Wild Card 2 cartridge. And these are cards 21 through 30. Thanks you guys so much for watching. Check out the other 2 in the series and look for the last 2 in the series. Take care, and thanks again for all my new subbies and all your support. God bless.